Tonight, a long time coming.
It should feel a moment of magic, I think.
Opening day at the Gordie Howe Bridge, reshaping transportation in our region. Plus, keeping food on the table.
It's really difficult, especially if you want the healthy and vegetables and fruit.
Calls from local health authorities to fight food insecurity. And a Forest City series.
We really wanted to showcase London.
The local actor putting her hometown up on screen.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight at the Gordie Howe Bridge in Windsor. Vehicle traffic is now crossing, a moment more than 3 decades in the making. With more, here's Travis Fortnum.
Before the Gordie Howe International Bridge opened to traffic, one car made a quiet, symbolic drive across.
It's an honor to have been the first to cross.
Inside were Gordie Howe, the grandson of Mr. Hockey, and his wife, Margaret, making the ceremonial first crossing around 10 to 10 Monday morning.
It feels like personally a memory that we will treasure, both of us, something that we'll be able to share with people, and feels like an honor to be a part of this.
The bridge was named for his grandfather in 2015. The Canadian-born Detroit Red Wings legend remembered as much for bringing Canadians and Americans together as he was for putting pucks in the net. Not far behind the Howes, the first official commercial truck, with Jim Pereira at the wheel.
To be able to just get it done was just an emotional release. And then it all hit while I was actually on the bridge.
Pereira once crossed the Ambassador Bridge as many as 7 times in a single day. He says the new direct route between Highway 401 and Interstate 75 should make the trip a whole lot simpler. The public started crossing shortly before noon, ending decades of planning and years of construction. Staff like Heather Grondin, who's been with the project since 2005, now seeing their hard work pay off.
I haven't started to cry yet today, but I'm sure it's going to come at some point.
Grondin calls it relief, joy, and a very long time coming. Now everyone else can see what all the fuss is about. The 6-lane crossing has a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour, and drivers are being reminded eyes on the road, save the sightseeing for the passenger seat. The Howes say their first drive across was smooth, even if their car may have wanted a little more.
We were driving a Dodge Charger, which could have gone much faster than we were able to drive on the bridge, but yeah, very smooth.
The drive takes travelers up a curving approach through the towers and over the Detroit River. The lead architect says the design was meant to deliver a little drama.
They should feel a moment of magic, I think. That's quite important.
Pedestrians and cyclists get their turn when the multi-use path opens August 5th. For the Howes, the first drive was less about bragging rights and more about the people who spent years getting the bridge to this point.
I think what has been the most special thing about today is like seeing the faces of the people who have worked on this project for upwards of 20 years.
A bridge bearing a family name, now carrying its first generation of travelers. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Municipal officials in Kincardine are asking residents to conserve water this week. They say scheduled maintenance on the town's raw water intake is taking place. They're asking residents to reduce water usage between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. until Saturday by doing laundry at night and limiting lawn watering. Western researchers say extensive damage at a Bayfield trailer park was caused by a microburst. The storm has been classified as an EF0 microburst, blowing through Bayfield on the morning of July 3rd. No injuries were reported, but more than 100 trees and 40 trailers were damaged, with wind speeds reaching 115 kilometers an hour.
Good evening. We've had rounds of scattered showers and thunderstorms moving through parts of our region. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch in London right now that stretches into Oxford County, and it includes Huron and Perth, southern Bruce, as well as Sarnia, Lambton, and Chatham-Kent, and stretching towards Windsor, Essex. We've had some strong thunderstorms in the last couple of hours moving through London. Areas like Rodney, West Lorne, Glencoe, Bothwell, seeing torrential downpours and some damaging wind gusts really as these storms roared through. We're not done done with all of that. As we head through the evening, the potential exists for more thunderstorm activity. We have had a few watches and warnings embedded in that, but right now we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. Things have briefly quieted down. These are the main threats. Wind gusts upwards of 90 kilometers per hour. And again, some of these storms packing hail. Storms will continue tonight and winds shift north as we head into tomorrow. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast. We'll look at the forecast model for tonight. And as we head towards a long holiday weekend, I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Julie. Police in Sarnia say they've laid several charges after numerous gunshots were fired at a car. They've shared these images, and according to police, a 47-year-old man was arrested after a resident on Overley Crescent found multiple gunshot holes in their car Thursday morning. They say a search warrant nearby yielded 6 long guns. Police say there were no injuries, and they have not commented on a potential motive. Fire crews north of Listowel say they've spent hours working on a shed fire. They say the shed was full of straw and it sparked last night around 10 o'clock near Palmerston. Firefighters say they had it under control by morning, but hot spots kept popping up throughout the day. They say trucks from 4 nearby stations had been bringing water to the scene for more than 20 hours. Local health officials say food insecurity is a growing concern across southwestern Ontario. They've issued a joint statement calling for better income supports to address what they call a preventable public health issue. With more, here's Brian Bicknell.
Sisters Lil and Grace stock up at the St. Thomas Food Bank. They know all too well how easy it is to run out before month's end.
It's really difficult, especially if you want the healthy and vegetables and fruit, because they're not really affordable.
It's really hard, especially when you have a type 1 diabetic and a gluten-free person.
Their situation is all too common, according to the region's health officials. Health units across southwestern Ontario have issued a joint statement calling for action to address food insecurity. They say 1 in 4 households struggles to afford basic needs. They're proposing an increase to social assistance, improved income supports for low and modest income households, and policies that reduce the cost of housing and other essentials.
Probably the 2 biggest drivers of being able to afford food or not is your income and how fast that's growing and what level it is at, as well as some of your major other expenses, including housing costs and rent costs.
Dietitian Kendall Chambers says household food insecurity is linked to a host of physical and mental health conditions.
For example, in adults, we can see impacts to mental health relating to increased risk of depression or anxiety, also higher risk of chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes.
The Joint Health Unit initiative coincides with a campaign by food banks. They want Ontario Works clients to be allowed to work more and earn more of their own income before their assistance is clawed back.
Raise that amount from 200 earned income that before clawback to 600 earned income. So it will not cost the government anything to be able to allow people to get a little bit of dignity back, get out, earn some money, and build relationships with their employer.
Meantime, health units say food insecurity is preventable. They're calling for action at the municipal, provincial, and federal levels. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, St. Thomas.
Southwestern public health officials are reporting 2 local mosquito traps testing positive for West Nile virus. They say one was in Woodstock, the other in Tavistock. Health unit officials recommend using DEET-based bug spray and removing standing water to reduce the chances of spread, as well as wearing long sleeves and pants. Tariffs dominated discussion last week at the Premier's meeting on Prince Edward Island, but there was another topic they signed off on, aligning how provinces make new builds more accessible. Maria Saru reports.
12 premiers committing to one goal, to bring Canada's patchwork of accessibility rules closer together. Rick Hansen, a former Paralympian and longtime accessibility advocate, said in social media videos the new Memorandum of Understanding could mark a turning point.
There will never be a new build ever again that isn't built meaningfully accessible so they work for people.
4 decades after wheeling around the world on his Man in Motion tour, the deal was signed in the spirit of his push for a barrier-free country. All of Canada's provinces and territories except Quebec say they will work toward common accessibility rules for new construction, but no implementation timeline has been announced.
People will look back in this moment and say, well, what was the big deal? This is just normal.
David Lepofsky, a blind lawyer and longtime disability rights advocate, says consistency only helps if the standard is strong.
There's a serious risk they're just going to dilute them to the lowest common denominator.
The latest National Building Code already includes features designed to make homes easier to adapt. That includes a wider entrance, reachable switches and outlets, and reinforced bathroom walls for future grab bars. The code was developed with input from people with lived experience. The agreement also asks Ottawa to create a national fund to help retrofit older buildings. The federal government hasn't announced a commitment to that, and each province will still have to adopt and enforce common rules. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
An Ottawa man is passing through London, walking his way to Windsor, recognizing Emancipation Day. That's the day slaves across the British Empire were given their freedom. With more on his message that he wants to share with current and future generations, here's Jerry Dewan.
It's a 1-month, 750-kilometer trek from Ottawa to Windsor.
We started a 750-kilometer walk on July 1st, Canada Day, that will conclude on August 1st, Emancipation Day. The walk is a tribute to my freedom-seeking ancestors that came into Canada via the Underground Railroad.
The Slavery Abolition Act came into law August 1st, 1834, freeing 800,000 enslaved people throughout the British colonies. Travis says his 750 for Peace walk isn't only about the past, it's about building a better future for young people.
To help raise awareness and help youth outreach initiatives do some fundraising. So we're supporting back home the Windsor Youth Center and the Sandwich Teen Action Group.
He says he's been encouraged by the number of people who celebrate his mission to honor the significance of the Abolition Act and who want to support him, like Jeff in Zora Township, who biked alongside for over an hour just to keep him company.
Sometimes we find ourselves in these silos where we're really beginning to think or believe that, you know, our back's against the wall, people are divided, you know, we're eating like this diet of division and division and division. But small towns, bigger towns, there are wonderful, kind, supportive people out there.
Travis is being supported throughout his journey by his wife, Nina Soto.
Get these down so you don't burn your ears.
Travis says his goal is to do a walk like this one every year for 10 years.
On every province, and we're going to service different youth organizations every year.
Travis has been averaging about 25 kilometers a day and says for the most part he's feeling good, but admits his back has been tightening up. He looks forward to returning home on Saturday. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A new Canadian mini-series is premiering, filmed and set here in London. It was written and directed by a local actor who wanted to put her hometown in the spotlight. With more, here's Lauren Stallone.
You seem a little off.
I met someone.
Love bombing, ghosting, situationships, all modern dating terms many have come to know. Now they're at the heart of the new London-based dramedy series, Love in All the Small Places.
We wanted to show what that world looks like.
Created by award-winning actress and filmmaker Sarah Cleveland, the show follows one woman in her 40s and her messy and honest journey with love.
This started about 5 years ago. There were a lot of girlfriends of mine were going through the whole process of starting over, dating again, whether it be from divorce or death.
Originally from London, Cleveland says choosing where to set the series was an easy decision.
We really wanted to showcase London, and so show real locations, real people, real businesses.
The series features familiar streets, cityscapes, and iconic London staples like the Tasting Room and here at Covent Garden Market.
We recognize that film and television production has a large economic spillover.
Andrew Dodd with Film London says the film office has seen tremendous growth in recent years, with more productions choosing to film in the city.
Between 2024 and 2025, we reported around $1.1 million in revenue for the city just based on the film and television projects that we had here. And, we're on track to see that number continue to grow.
Beyond the economic impact, Cleveland says she hopes viewers learn to embrace the process of starting over at any stage of life.
I think 40 plus, we're reinventing in so many different ways and having new experiences, but enjoying the ride and not just falling into the chaos that comes from it.
Cleveland says she is currently working to get a second season off the ground. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
When we come back, burned out in the emergency room. The latest numbers on Canada's strained healthcare providers. Plus, police citing new technology allowing them to identify victims in 2 cold cases.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. New numbers published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal suggest 1 in 4 emergency room doctors in this country are burned out and either leaving or wanting to leave the ER. With more on those findings and what they mean for Canada's healthcare system, here's Adrian Gabriel.
In emergency departments across Canada, overworked and understaffed doctors are burning out and leaving.
The crisis is worsening year by year.
This new study published by the Canadian Medical Association Journal has uncovered that 1 in 10 emergency department physicians are walking off the job due to burnout. Dr. Kirsten DeWitt is the lead author of the national study that has spanned the last 6 years.
Emergency physicians are feeling like they're carrying the burden of healthcare.
Hundreds of doctors surveyed across Canada shared that they're burnt out, in part due to being forced to deliver hallway medicine to too many patients, while highlighting a lack of staffing support on the ground.
Patients are dying in our emergency departments, and we know that this is going to continue to happen.
Among the doctors who've remained working in the ER, 48% have reduced clinical hours and 20% have taken time off.
Some of the metrics that we're asked to pay attention to are how many patients you see, not how well you see them.
In May of 2020, emergency department Dr. James Maskalik was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. After successfully battling the disease, he returned to work with a renewed focus on his colleagues' well-being and their ability to deliver quality care.
The point of medicine is to show up for the human being in front of you. It's not to kind of like check these boxes and push people through.
Now the wellness director for the University of Toronto's Emergency Medicine Division, Dr. Maskalik believes that fundamental change is necessary to improve doctor retention and patient care.
Whatever allows us to spend more time with patients.
A comprehensive framework for redesigning Canada's emergency care system has been released by the Association of Emergency Physicians.
We have a huge shortage of nurses and physicians in the emergency department. We're all working overtime all the time.
A statement from the Office of Ontario's Minister of Health says in part that we need the federal government to step up as a full funding partner by renewing expiring health funding agreements to provide stable, predictable, and flexible long-term funding. Though doctors surveyed say their years-long plea for support have continuously been ignored by all levels of government. If meaningful steps aren't taken to address the issues raised, ER physicians we spoke with fear that much of the work being done to bolster the number of doctors across Canada could be squandered. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
An intern from Canada has been arrested, accused of spying at NATO headquarters in Belgium. It's raising concerns about Canada's vetting process and whether there's been a breach. Judy Trin reports.
Belgian authorities have accused a Canadian female intern at NATO headquarters of being a spy. After her arrest, the woman's office and home was searched by police. Her computer data was downloaded. This arrest is prompting the Canadian government to investigate how she got her security clearance, which was vetted by CSIS and the RCMP.
As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening. It is an ongoing work that we do, and in this particular case, I think it's important to get to the bottom of what happened.
The minister says whether the suspect worked for internal Canadian departments before she was hired at NATO is also being looked at. Belgium's federal prosecutor says the intern is of Chinese origin, a Canadian citizen suspected of spying for an unnamed third country and of being a member of a criminal organization.
The junior employee that is most prone to manipulation, exploitation, senior or leadership positions, they often have the protection 24/7. They have security agencies watching their back.
Analysts say young employees are vulnerable targets for hostile foreign powers playing the long game.
The juice is worth the squeeze, right? Because I mean, if they invest in this asset for a very long time, they keep it under the radar, keep attention away from that person, and then that asset rises to deputy foreign minister or becomes head of the delegation or, is one of the political military affairs at shape. The amount of intelligence and what that asset can pay back after years of investment is really just unbelievable.
NATO says no sensitive information or operations were compromised at its headquarters. The Canadian woman makes her first appearance in court on Tuesday behind closed doors. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Toronto police say they've solved 2 cold cases that go back decades. Heather Butts has more on the DNA technology they used to find answers.
Sifting through the ruins of a demolition site in 1995, police knew then this decades-old murder would be challenging to solve. Forensics determined the victim was buried after suffering at least 6 blows to the head from a hammer-like weapon.
They couldn't even develop a DNA profile because of the decomposition. And now they don't just identify the DNA profile. They put it to a town in Scotland.
In 2022, it was selected as part of Project 31 using investigative genetic genealogy. The victim was identified as Mary McLeod Moffat, born in 1905 in Scotland and immigrated to Canada, likely murdered in approximately 1936.
We were able to obtain a segment of bone from her that actually was able to yield a perfect, nice, clean, fully robust DNA profile for her, and our team of amazing genealogists were able to wrap this up.
Police say the victim's husband, who died a decade before his wife's body was discovered, is believed to be responsible for her murder, putting a 90-year-old case to a close. The second cold case breakthrough, also very public and high profile in nature, a 2004 crash along a major Ontario highway where police found a badly burned body in the passenger seat.
What's suspicious is the amount of damage on the car.
The cause of death was never determined. DNA analysis led police to many Cree communities. And after 2 decades of piecing together family connections, she was identified as Patsy Flora Lagarde.
When you speak to relatives of it, says she was actually very full of life and a very sort of energetic, happy person. So bringing this news to them was absolutely crushing.
An element of closure for 2 families decades later. Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
Back with Julie on the desk now on what has been so far a pretty active day weather-wise. I've heard some thunder, some intense rain as well.
Yeah, heavy downpours, lots of moisture to work with. We've had really high humidity today, so our humidex in the mid-30s, and we had some strong storms develop. Take a look at this video. So thanks to Jim Miller for sending this one in. So this was taken, as you can see, at Longwoods and Simpson Road, just south of Glencoe. This was just before 5 o'clock. Look at that rain coming down. He also said they received some hail in that area. And he said his neighbor's rain gauge reported 2 inches of rain, so about 50 millimeters of rain associated with that thunderstorm that moved through. And you can see it on the satellite radar dissipating as it pushes out over Lake Erie. Temperature today, 27 degrees, right where we should be for this time of year. 16 degrees our low. It was our humidex this afternoon that felt like the mid-30s, so it was quite steamy and you could feel the muggy air. Temperature has briefly dipped in London with the recent showers and thunderstorms. Midwestern Ontario as well, from 22 to 25 degrees. Still quite warm towards Windsor and Chatham. The humidex, though, still feeling like 27. So that's air you can wear when you step outside. You can really feel the mugginess to the air. That will continue tonight. We do have a cold front off to the northwest, and that is slumping southward. So things looking fairly quiet over the next few hours. But as that front starts to approach, there is the risk for scattered showers and thunderstorms. out ahead of it. We're starting to see a little bit of action right now well off to the northwest. So this was a bit of a preview. Overnight, we could still pick up some storms. We have a big dome of heat building in through the southern U.S. and on the periphery of that heat dome, widespread heat warnings across the southern prairies. So towards Dallas, the American Midwest, temperatures in the upper 30s, and then temperatures across the southern prairies where that heat is seeping its way northward, feeling like 28 to 32 through the day today. Northwestern Ontario, 24 degrees and in and around the GTA. Temperatures tonight stay warm overnight, not a big drop off, so we hold on to the warmth and muggy conditions. You'll notice things drying out tomorrow. The front will come through and the winds will be shifting to the north-northwest. That will usher in some drier conditions, so the humidity levels will start to drop off tomorrow afternoon as the winds pick up. Temperatures dip down between 18 and 20 degrees. So as we go out 36 hours, there's the storms that could rumble through overnight and first thing in the morning. So early probability of showers will drop then to about a 40% chance. And then this forecast model shows some nice clearing across parts of southern Ontario. So tomorrow will be one of those days where we'll be watching how much cloud cover is able to build. With that northwest wind, of course, that'll be coming across the lake and that could generate some cloud cover, and it's that dark cloud that you look at and it looks quite ominous. However, this model is indicating a lot of dry air, so that cloud cover may not be able to build. So tomorrow will be a day where there's a slight chance for showers, the probability just 40%, but chance for some nice big breaks of sunshine. The high 25 degrees and the winds out of the northwest picking up. Now it'll be quite cool along the lakeshore tomorrow with that cool flow of air coming off Lake Huron. So if you're heading to the beach tomorrow, it's one of your beach days, expect it to be a cool day, and you might need a lighter or a warmer towel to wrap around you after you get out of the water. As we head through the next 7 days, Wednesday cloudy with breaks and 25 degrees. We'll hit 27 on Thursday. Comfort levels this week are good. We don't have any major swings of heat coming in just yet. Friday, lots of sunshine and 28 degrees. That's right where we should be for this time of year. We have a holiday weekend setting up. We have a bit of cloud cover around on Saturday and Saturday night, some rain. Saturday, the humidity will creep back in advance of this next weather system that comes through heading into Sunday. But it looks like the rain should hold off until late Saturday, so after sunset. Just a chance for showers and the probability of nighttime rain. Again, low at 40%, 28 degrees for holiday Monday with a mix of sun and clouds. Still the chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight in Midwestern Ontario. Possibility of a thunderstorm tomorrow morning, but I'm looking at the latest forecast models, dropping that just a bit. I'm not expecting a lot. 25 on Wednesday, cloudy with breaks, and then Thursday into Friday, lots of sunshine. Carlyle, the holiday weekend is looking fairly pleasant, but we're still a few days away. So I'll keep you posted on that. At this point, temperatures this week averaging close to normal. So a nice looking summer week across southern Ontario.
All right. Thanks very much, Julie. Still ahead, 70 years for a local institution. The family restaurant on Richmond still going strong.
Coming up this September, we have a London classic, the Western Fair. We want you to be there.
So make sure you're listening to Prize Town every morning this week at 7:10 for your chance to win. Good luck.
A new poll suggests most Canadians believe the country should stand firm in the face of new U.S. tariff impositions. The survey was conducted by the Angus Reid Institute. It found a third of respondents said the federal government should match any new American import duties dollar for dollar. Just under 30% supported more limited counter tariffs. Only 7% of respondents said the government should concede to U.S. demands to avoid more tariffs. Fewer people seem to have faith in Mark Carney's ability to get a good deal, though, with 43% expressing that belief, down from 51% in April. A restaurant in North London celebrated a major milestone today, 70 years in business. With more on the eatery's remarkable longevity, here's Sean Irvin.
To last 70 years, any business must attract repeat customers. Why is this place a big deal after 70 years?
Obviously good service, or they wouldn't still be here.
Richie's has been an anchor in this strip mall at Fanshawe Park Road in Richmond since the early 1980s. Before that, the original owner took over a diner inside a gas station at the then Rural Corner. Over the decades, the seemingly obvious reason for the restaurant's name was forgotten.
And for the longest time, people are like, why is it called Richie's? And we couldn't figure it out. And it's like, oh, because it's on Richmond Street.
Over 70 years, 4 owners have operated Richie's. Each has quickly learned the key to its success.
And we just kind of told them, it's not broken, don't fix it. Yeah, the same cooks, the same servers.
But it is not only the question of how does a restaurant survive 70 years, it's also how does this restaurant survive in an area that is full of chain restaurant competition.
This is where you're gonna get not just like your chain restaurant food, but the real quality food that people put their heart and soul into.
But good food only goes so far, regulars tell us. For them, the classic diner appeal and long-serving staff make Richie's.
That's the difference, yeah. It's the people that are here working.
Even some politicians are known to be regulars here.
And these locations, these places, are where people have memories, they're where they share experiences, and of course, it's always amazing food.
I will say, you know, they do school lunch programs, they have great specials for seniors. It's just a place that you feel like you're embraced and you're welcomed.
And that perhaps is what Richie's has over the chain restaurants, according to Gary Roberts, who comes here nearly every day.
And I think we've lost not only just the food aspect of it, but I think we've lost the fellowship that you can have with other people as well.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished in positive territory today as oil prices fell. The TSX gained almost 200 points. In New York, the Dow added 263. The Nasdaq lost 44. The Canadian dollar is down 0.14 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $6 an ounce. Oil fell almost $7 a barrel. Still to come, a return to the past with an eye to the future. All the highlights from the Home County Music and Art Festival back in Victoria Park.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 97.5 Virgin Radio.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has called 3 federal by-elections for next month. One of them is in the Toronto area, replacing Nate Erskine-Smith, who resigned last month. The other by-elections are in Quebec and British Columbia. All 3 will be held on August 31st. Officials with Canadian Blood Services are calling out for additional donors amid a national supply shortage. They say their inventory has decreased roughly 20% since the start of the summer, with fewer donations booked than usual. They also say hospitals often require more blood products during a long weekend, with increased traveling leading to more trauma cases. Researchers with the American Heart Association say coffee drinkers can likely enjoy more cups than they already do. They say drinking up to 5 cups of black coffee with around 400 milligrams of caffeine is safe for most adults. They also found drinking 2 to 4 cups of coffee a day was tied to a lower risk of heart disease, heart failure, and stroke. However, the research also found people with healthy blood pressure drinking between 1 and 3 cups a day was associated with an increased risk of developing high blood pressure. The 36th annual bike ride for MS was this weekend, with hundreds of bikers riding from Grand Bend to London and back. With more on their fundraising efforts, here's Brent Lail.
On a quiet back road in Middlesex County, Elaine Richardson and her husband are in the middle of a 75-kilometer trek to raise funds for MS.
I was diagnosed about 14 years ago, and so I've been very lucky. It doesn't affect my daily life too much. Limited symptoms, but this is really important to me because MS Canada was there to support me when I was diagnosed.
The duo were among hundreds who start Saturday morning at Grand Bend Motorplex and cycle to Fanshawe College in London.
Elaine and Steve Richardson running in with Bud Ugly. Here.
They stay over and do it all again Sunday morning.
Quite honestly, when I was first diagnosed, my neurologist thought I would be in a wheelchair within
about 3 to 5 years. So I beat that.
MS is an autoimmune disease which affects the central nervous system. There is currently no cure.
It's mostly fatigue, a little bit of numbness in certain parts of my body, so especially when I'm tired. But just try to be active, try to watch what you eat a little bit, moderation, and get good rest.
The 36th year of the MS bike ride from Grand Bend to London featured some staggering numbers. 59 teams, 436 participants, and nearly $700,000 raised.
You made it.
There are currently 90,000 Canadians living with MS.
I was diagnosed with MS 12 years ago, and have gone through various medications. I am one of the very lucky few that have very few symptoms that I need to deal with. I'm going to do this for as long as I can because I know that there are folks that it affects much more seriously.
Research is huge because we want a cure. We want to end MS, and also it provides support for MS Canada in terms of reaching out to people who are diagnosed with programming and resources, and it's critical. The fundraising is critical.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
A St. Thomas football player made his CFL debut this weekend.
First CFL field goal try for Brady Lidster, and he puts it through.
Brady Lidster was called up this week for the Toronto Argonauts, making 4 of 5 field goal attempts and chipping in a couple extra points. The Argos beat the BC Lions 26-12 on Saturday. During his university career at Windsor, he set multiple records, including most field goals in a game and the longest ever OUA field goal at 55 yards. Tomorrow on CTV News, honoring the ultimate sacrifice. An update from Springbank Park and a new monument getting under construction built by the Byron Legion. Tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
This is a great way to keep cool. Thank you to Jennifer Kirk for this photo of River and Strider. They are beating the heat in their kiddie pool. Or I guess we should call it their doggy pool. As we head into your Tuesday, scattered showers with the risk of thunderstorms. Probability dips to 40%. Cooler winds arrive to the area. Sunshine as we head into Thursday, a Friday, and temperatures back up into the upper 20s.
Police in Toronto say they're investigating property damage at 2 businesses from the weekend. As Beth McDonnell reports, both are Jewish-owned, and police are treating the situation as potential hate crimes.
Shattered glass spills onto the sidewalk at Kiva's Bagel Bar, a Jewish-owned bakery at Yonge and St. Clair in Midtown Toronto, the result of overnight gunfire.
It happened at 1 in the morning. I heard 3 gunshots at 1 a.m. But having said that, I heard nothing after, no sirens, nothing. And then I wake up this morning and here's this whole thing with the police.
A second location at Steeles in Bathurst under the same name was also targeted. There, a front door window was broken. Both incidents are being investigated by police as possible hate-motivated crimes.
It feels very personal to me. I could have been in there. Or anybody in this neighborhood. It could have been daytime as opposed to nighttime.
This is where we come for our food, and we feel threatened and unsafe.
When it comes to hate-motivated crimes, Toronto police data shows the Jewish community is the most targeted group. In 2025, anti-Jewish incidents represented more than 80% of religiously motivated hate crimes. It's a phenomenon the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs says is increasing because of terrorism and at times sponsored by the Republic of Iran. Last month, police reported dozens of shootings are being carried out in gun-for-hire schemes at synagogues, Jewish schools, and the U.S. consulate. The center believes there is a correlation between conflict in the Middle East and violence here.
Nothing can justify crimes being perpetrated against Canadians on Canadian soil.
Officers say the investigation is in the early stages and the Guns and Gangs unit is involved. The connection for now, the incidents happened at the same local chain. It's not clear which shop was targeted first, exactly when overnight or why, although public safety is a central focus.
We're going to be increasing our police presence to conduct the investigation for what happened here. And you can also expect an increased presence of police around those locations.
I've spoken with the owner of the building. They are incredibly
I'm upset about what happened. I mean, this really shakes the foundation of the community.
Some local residents are fed up.
It's infuriating. This has got to stop in this city, and it's only going to stop when our government starts to clamp down on what's going on.
Police are urging anyone with information or video to come forward. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Police surrounded the U.S. consulate in Toronto this morning after gunfire rang out. Police say officers heard gunshots and found a shell casing outside the building. A white sedan was seen leaving the area, but there's no description of a suspect, and it's not clear if the consulate was the intended target. No injuries were reported. The building was also hit by gunfire about 4 months ago, something RCMP called a national security incident. A shooting broke out at a food festival in Seattle over the weekend, killing 3 people.
We've recovered 2 guns. It's one thing to note, one of the 4 victims that was taken to the hospital was a toddler.
4 people were injured, one of them a 2-year-old boy. Police say he is in stable condition. According to police, 2 suspects opened fire on one another at the festival, one of whom was arrested shortly after, the other still at large. German police say they're looking for a suspect after an apparent car attack on Pride celebrations in Berlin, which killed 1 person and injured more than a dozen others. German authorities were seen searching wooded areas this morning, looking for signs of 1 or more suspects. Police released a photo of a suspect, saying they were aware of the man with known links to Islamist circles. This was the scene last night in the aftermath of the attack. German authorities say several people were also stabbed. The German chancellor has promised the attack will be investigated with the utmost severity. A team of art experts is on a mission to root out fake copies of pieces created by a famed Canadian painter. Camille Caramali has more on their process and the results so far.
It's a treasure trove of stunningly visual paintings, beautiful enough to be up on display, but instead tucked away in the basement of this small-town Ontario home. What's the overall value of all of this? Was once worth a lot of money.
Between $600,000 and $700,000.
Until they were all discovered to be fake.
That's one of the red flags.
Circulating around Canada's art scene, posing as authentic pieces painted by Norval Morrisseau. The artist known as the Picasso of the North died 2 decades ago, but since then thousands of forgeries have flooded the market, selling for millions. That is until Jonathan Zimanovich and his team stepped in.
Anytime we can take a fake painting off the market to help stabilize the market.
Removing more than 50 this year alone.
It's been pretty easy to tell with these specific types of paintings.
And there's certain telltale signs that these paintings are fake, like these lines being way too thick.
Morrisseau's black lines were not this thick. They were much more controlled.
While other signs are more obvious.
People we know who painted with him said he never did that.
But their work is just beginning.
We estimate that there are still somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 more fakes.
And that's where AI and new technology comes in. It's already able to spot fake paintings, finding tiny details not consistent with an artist's style.
There are certain colors, brush strokes, supports that characterize a painting.
But that same technology is also giving copycat painters the power and knowledge of any artist's style, so they can make exact replicas by hand.
It's not a question of will this happen. I absolutely am sure that it will happen if it's not already happening now.
For now, this Ontario-based art authentication firm choosing to do things the old-fashioned way.
The sales values of these paintings on the open market have gone down over 70%.
A relief to you?
That's a great relief to us.
With a lot more paintings to examine in excruciating detail. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Pelham, Ontario.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A developing story now from City Hall where.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, the Home County Music and Art Festival returning to Victoria Park. Thousands came out for 2 days of performances. And as Brent Lale reports, it wasn't too long ago the event's future looked in serious jeopardy.
Goodbye, that's what art brings inside, yeah.
musicians from across the country took the stage at the 50th edition of the Home County Music and Art Festival.
Kelowna is the city of gastronomy, and London is the UNESCO City of Music. So they just thought, hey, let's send an artist over from Kelowna to represent. You can actually perform, get off the stage, greet people, take pictures and stuff. So I don't know. It's just the spirit and the vibe here is beautiful.
Daddy bought my first guitar.
After a hiatus in 2024 due to financial pressures and volunteer shortages, the event returned in 2025 with a one-day show. It continues to trend upward as it's back to a multi-day festival.
The outpouring of support from the community was just honestly inspiring, and it really motivated us to, to just keep going.
Thousands of fans showed up to Victoria Park.
Free for a start. Lots of people sitting in the grass, having a good time. All kinds of music.
Wonderful crafts, and the food's great, especially that banh mi. Oh, that poke bowl was wonderful last night.
And you're always running into friends.
There you go.
And it's a great sense of community.
My rubber boots, the colossus of roads.
The opening act Saturday took the show back to its roots as a folk festival with father-son duo Paul and Trevor Mills.
I go back to the beginning of this festival. I mean, I played a number of them over the years, and I was at the very first one. I think I was at just about every one.
He had a project due in his socio-anthropical geobio and creationism course.
Dad's been a folkie forever, and then I grew up in all that. And yeah, we've been playing together my whole life. Great to see it back.
And as for the festival's future,
we'll take it year by year. You know, we want to take it slow and just be mindful of sustainable growth. And but things are looking up.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.